Welcome everyone. My name is Cindy Prentice. I'm the Executive Director here at Holly Hill Farm, and we welcome you to this video of how to put together a grapevine wreath with all natural materials found on the farm. I'm here today with Barbara Nicosia, who is an amazing crafter and used to work at Holly Hill Farm. And what we're going to do together is we're going to show you the different pieces that come in your kit. So we've got a grapevine base that we made from grapevine grown right here on the farm. We have a baggie with some wire for you. You need that. We have beautiful white pine donated by Bob Parent, who had a huge pine tree drop down, and he gave us all these. Some have little teeny pine cones on them. We also have some pine cones included in your kit. We have some beautiful cedar, and of course the requisite holly from Holly Hill Farm. So those are the ingredients that you will find in your kit. We're sorry that the workshop can't happen tomorrow on Saturday. It's going to be a terrible day weather-wise, and due to COVID restrictions we just can't put everybody in the greenhouse. So we're sorry about that, but we hope that the kit is going to help you make yours at home, and we're ready to go. Barbara, we're going to start with the grapevine wreath, and notice how Barbara is taking one sprig of the pine, and she's going to take the wire that's included in your kit and wrap it around the blunt end of the pine. She's going to twist it just a little bit there to start.
Just to secure that first piece.
And that first piece is now attached.
Can you lay it down so I can see? Okay.
Is now attached to the grapevine base, and she will continue to add pine. She'll stick the blunt end of the pine into the wreath, and sometimes you have to cut off those blunt ends if they're too long and sticking out of your wreath base, but that's sort of dressing it up as you finish. Don't worry about that yet. And you continue to add the pine all around the grapevine base. Now you can see Barbara has made a really nice fluffy base with the pine, and some of the pine has the pine cones. And she's only used wire for the first piece, but now that it's all around the base as the fluffy base of the pine, she's going to wind that wire around the wreath to secure the pine boughs around, with still a little of it being fluffy. So Barbara is winding the wire that she initially started with the first piece of pine on the grapevine wreath. She's winding that around what she has tucked into the grapevine base. And this secures the pine so that it doesn't move once you've hung it up, especially if it's outdoors and in any windy conditions.
That's about where I started. There. So I'll twist the two ends together.
So now she's twisting the two ends of the wire that she started with together.
Okay.
And
Are you
then
gonna
she
make?
will.
Are you gonna make a hanger for it? Are you gonna twist?
Yeah, that could be the last thing.
Okay. If you have enough, that twist could be the hanger loop,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Okay, so things like if you see ends like this that you say, you know, I'm not sure I'm really happy with that, just take your little snips and say, you know what, I think I'm just going to snip that part off. So it's very workable as far as the look that you would like for your wreath. Some people might like a little more fluffiness with pine that hangs off of the wreath, and other people might choose to have it wound tightly all the way around. It's really up to you. You're now the designer.
So
So
now you
now
have
you're
the
just tucking
wire.
more pieces
you can tuck
in.
more in.
And are you tucking them under the wire there?
Just in there. Yeah.
Hard to see. Is the goal to cover the wire? I guess if you, like, I don't know if people can see, but here's the wire. And if you put a piece
Yeah, you'll hide.
above that, it'll hide the wire. There you go.
We're
That's
still
a good
gonna-
example.
Oh, we have holly.
Why don't you hold it up so people can see what it looks like at this point?
Oh,
And then what
So
you
that's
want to
what
do is you want to hold it up and figure out where is the top of your wreath. Is it more of an oval? And I think this is part of the fun if you're working in a group or a family. And then you can see, oh, that's where we want it to be right here. And that's where you're going to put your hanger on the back side of your wreath so that it hangs from that position. And then you continue to add layers on top of the pine of holly and any other evergreens that you have. So Barbara, where would you like to have the top of your wreath?
I think just the way you had it.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay. And now she's going to tuck in pieces of holly, Holly Hill Farm holly.
Beautiful.
Part of the joy of doing this every year is walking the woods with Jean White, and we've had Bruce Frost, we've had Molly Breiling, we've had Lori Fort, Janice McPhillips, who's filming this. Thank you, Janice. Cindy, Johnny. So we love being out in the woods, of course. It's such a great place to be in Holly Hill Farm. And this is an annual tradition. This is our 13th year of the Holiday Fair. And it's tough not having our greenhouse full of artisans, but as you all know, we have put it online so that you can enjoy the artisans that we've had in the past, and we've added some new ones as well. So you can see Barbara is tucking the holly down inside, and you might decide to put all of your holly in one clump, or 2 clumps, or 3 clumps, or all the way around your wreath. This is your design, and we would love to see pictures of your design. When you finish, if you would like to send us a picture, we would love to see what you have created, and we'll put some on the web. So here's some beautiful cedar that we found in the woods, and that adds a really nice texture to the long skinny pines. This is a nice fluffy cedar that we found on the farm.
Nice.
Isn't that beautiful?
Cindy, would you like to hold it up?
I'd be happy to
And then
hold
I
it
can
up.
see where we need
Pretend you're a
more.
door.
That was an expression growing up. You make a better door than a
Oh,
window.
yeah.
Remember that? What, you can't see through me? Come on. So Barbara's sort of placing things to see if it looks quite right to her eye.
So I have a question.
Sure.
That piece right there that's kind of sticking out.
This one.
What would you do with that? I mean, you don't want to cut it off.
No, you could,
But
you
maybe
could
wire
bring
it
it down
down?
and have a piece of wire that would,
Yeah.
or tuck it in. So there's a lot of tucking in that goes on in making these wreaths.
So you could either tuck it under the wire or in between the pieces of the grapevine base. If you
Sure.
can, if
Yeah.
you can get at it. That's pretty. Ooh, that's really pretty.
I think we need like,
Wire.
yeah, so we're
Okay.
gonna pick.
Yeah, so we've got
Um,
some pine cones here that we're going to wire.
You can just place them in just to get the feel
Yeah.
for where you want to put them.
Nice job, Barbara. The artiste, Holly Hill Farm artiste.
Nice.
Yeah.
Could you glue them with hot glue if you had a hot glue gun?
Sure.
Yeah. I think you'd need a lot of glue though. To really, I think the wire
To
is
secure it. Wire's better.
the best way to go.
If we pull out a piece of wire, Barbara, do you want to show people how to wire the pine
Yeah.
cone? Let's
Just
do
cut
that.
a little piece.
Okay.
Oh.
Barbara has cut a piece of wire about 15 inches long. She's going to fold it in half. And this is going to be the attachment that she puts on here, the loop, where you can hang your wreath on your outside door or on your garage or your barn or wherever you'd like it to be outside. So she just looped it through, and now she's going to fold it again, slip it under. You want to make sure it's good and solid. So she's got a double wire there that she's now going to twist and twist and twist with this loop, and you'll see it's a good sized loop that you can then put on a nail or some kind of an attachment that you might have on your mailbox.
Moment
or-
of truth.
And as you can see, turn it around for a second.
Oh, that's beautiful.
The loop is hanging. Can you turn it around? From one of the stems, kind of more towards the middle of the wreath rather than the top, and that way it won't show. The hanger part won't show. So to flip it around.
Right.
There you go. Awesome. Beautiful.
Nicely
And there-
done. Okay, so in your bag, you're going to find wire. And with that wire, you can take a short piece like Barbara has here in the shape of a U, and she's going to wind it around the stem of a pine cone that we've collected. And if you don't have a stem that's long enough, you can just wind it around the top part of the pine cone.
Can you cut that with any scissors, or does it
Yes,
need to be?
it's very
Yeah.
thin. Any kind of craft scissors, or I'm using clippers, but you can use household scissors to cut that wire.
So whichever direction you want to go here.
And then she's placing it onto the wreath, and then taking that wire and wiring it around the wreath to anchor it to the wreath. Now, your
You
first
just have to
time
twist
making a
it.
wreath, you're going to find out after it's windy outside, whoops, maybe we need a little more wire, and that's okay. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be an educational experience and something that's fun for you, maybe you and your family. And it's become a family tradition for many people here in the area. And unfortunately this year we can't gather like we normally do, but hopefully next year.
So if people do need more wire, you could use a twist tie, I suppose, if you had some,
Sure.
but they may not be strong enough. This is florist wire.
Yep.
You could get it at Michael's, I believe, but hopefully you'll have enough in your kit. Yep, that's what it looks
You can
like.
get it at Michael's, or garden centers frequently have this wire as well.
But hopefully there'll be enough in your kit that you can secure your pine cones, your pine boughs,
That's right.
and if we get 50-mile-an-hour winds, things may fall off, but depending on which direction your door faces.
That's right. Now, some people have used their wreaths inside, and the only caution I would have is that the cut ends of pines sometimes will be a little sappy, and pine sap is very sticky. So that's something you see, you may not want to have it indoors if it's leaking. No leaky pines. It's all fresh cut, so that's why it does ooze a little bit, unfortunately. So Barbara's just tucking in more.
It
Of the
doesn't look right.
cedar.
Just pull it out and tuck it in
Stuff
somewhere
it
else.
right back in there.
So you're just tucking that in between the branches of the other
Just filling in
cedars and the pine.
spots.
Is this?
Pine cone's falling.
This is not
Oh,
attached.
that's not anchored yet.
Okay.
All right, I will put that. So just trying to cover up if I see any wire.
You could play with this all day.
You can.
And that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you have any grapevine at home, but it's very simple to go out and cut a bunch of grapevine. And while it's still green, in other words, you've just cut it, you can shape it into a round
Oh,
or an oval shape.
that's a fun idea. Why don't you go get a piece and
We'll
show,
go get a piece.
show people how their base, their grapevine base was created. I worked on that with Jean. We went to a couple different places around the farm where grapevines, they climb up trees. Sometimes they nearly strangle the trees, but they sometimes they're edible grapes, so we leave them there. But they can be cut down this time of year, and when the stems are pliable, like Cindy said, when they're bendable, they can be formed into this round wreath shape and used as a base. And you can save your base from year to year. So if you want to do this again next year, you could do that. You could just bring your base, take the greens out, which will sadly wither up and dry out, but the base will be great to use next year. Have you done that, Barbara?
I know a lot of people have. A lot of people come back every year and they bring their wreath.
To bring their
base from
bases?
last year.
Cindy, I was just talking about the fact that you could save your base from year to year. All right, so while
Absolutely.
Barbara is putting the finishing touches on this, we're gonna show Cindy making a base. So this is the grapevine that would have been growing up a tree, pulled down and
Yes.
snipped with a pair of clippers.
Right.
And it doesn't kill the plant, so don't worry, we're
No.
not putting the grapes in any harm by doing that. They will grow back next year. In fact, we're sort of doing the tree that the grapes climb up a favor.
Yes, we are.
Oh, there you go. And as you can see,
We're gonna make a round, and this little piece, this jag, we don't need. So we're just gonna snip that baby right off. Right there. And I'd like it to be rather round if I can. So we're gonna continue to weave it around. You have to wrestle with it sometimes. Wrestling with grapevine. I don't think it burns a lot of calories, but it's not like being on a bicycle. So I'm winding it around, and now I'm gonna take this last piece and start tucking it in. It's still
kind of like weaving.
quite
right?
pliable because it was just cut. If you cut it and let it sit too long, then it breaks. And you can see that I've already started to get a good base here. And I'm going to get one more small piece that's very pliable, and I'm going to wind it around that as well, and that becomes your grapevine base. And you can see there's all these holes where you tuck in the pine or the cedar or the holly, and it makes a wonderful base that you can keep from year to year. All right, Barbara.
I
Awesome.
just wanted to show what you can do with any leftover pieces from your kit.
Oh.
If your wreath is full enough, just gather them together in a bundle and you'll have a little swag.
And you would
And,
attach the top of the swag.
Yeah, I'm gonna take another little piece of wire and wrap it around.
Put a bow on the top there. You'll have a
Put a
lovely
bow.
decoration.
And you can put an ornament, hang an ornament on there.
You want to show people how to make a loop to hang on the door?
Yes.
Yeah, you
That's
could
what I was going to suggest.
just twist your
Awesome.
wire ends tight as you can. And then, I don't know if you can see it, just
can.
bend it into a loop
Good.
and twist, twist, twist.
And you want to try to keep the loop below the stem so that you don't show the loop hanging above
Yeah,
your
put your
swag.
finger through the loop so people can see what you're talking about.
There
So
you
there,
go.
Barbara's finger
Yeah.
was the
There you
hook.
go.
So you could trim all these stem ends as well.
Nice.
Nicely done.
Put a. So all it needs is a little bow.
Swag. And can you hold up the wreath too? Finished product. So there we have a beautiful swag. Thank you, Barbara. And a beautiful wreath. Thank you,
Lovely.
both of you, Barbara and Cindy.
And thank you all for shopping with Holly Hill Farm and buying a kit or wanting to come to our workshop. This is our impromptu workshop today. And we hope you have success. And please send us a picture of your creations. And happy holidays.
Happy holidays.